Have you ever thought the Mandarin is a similar villain to Snoke, in which after all the build-up, these villains have a twist that makes you go, that's it, I'm done with this movie? Iron Man 3, this time not directed by Jon Favreau but by Shane Black, and is the third and final installment in the Iron Man trilogy, as well as the 7th installment in the MCU overall. I mistook the Avengers as the 5th MCU movie when it's technically the 6th, so I'm apologetic for that. So Iron Man 3 tells the story following on from the events of the Avengers after Tony joined Earth's mightiest heroes, defended the Earth and New York from Loki and the Chitauri. He just wants to settle down with his personal life with Pepper until a new malicious enemy known as the Mandarin comes and just takes everything from him and literally blows his personal life to shit. Tony must build an Iron Man army and go on a revenge quest to take back Pepper and everything he loves. I still stand by what I said in my review of the first Iron Man, that Tony revealing his identity and address to the world was a dumb idea, as the Mandarin never would have found him, has he not? Well, at last we've covered Phase 1, so let's move on to Phase 2 of the MCU. Iron Man 3 is literally the last Jedi of the MCU. What do I mean by that? Well, this is the most divisive MCU movie yet. You either love it or you hate it. Which camp am I in? Well, I'm in the middle on Iron Man 3. I'm neither a lover or a hater of this movie, but I will certainly say it is a watchable conclusion to the Iron Man trilogy, and my second favourite in the trilogy, and certainly a great, glorious improvement over Iron Man 2, which was just an unnecessary movie to get us ready for the Avengers. That movie didn't need to exist. If you erased Iron Man 2 from the MCU library, then nobody would notice, as it's generally the movie that we desired Iron Man 2 to be. So let's get into my positives. This will be a mixed review, since I am split on this movie. There are things I loved and things I hate, but as for my positives, because of the change of director, this movie has a different tone from its predecessors, and what this movie gets right is that it's the end of Tony's personal journey. It thankfully avoids setting up Age of Ultron, and this movie concludes Tony's journey on a reasonably satisfying note. Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, unlike Iron Man 2 when he reverted back to being a drunken arsehole, here that's all in the past. Here he is back to being the hero who isn't wronging anybody. He just wants his life back. So we genuinely care about him this time. Robert Downey Jr. has never been better as Tony Stark / Iron Man, and Gwyneth Paltrow's Pepper Potts, she is also the greatest she has ever been in the MCU here. This is Pepper's movie as well as Tony's. She is legitimately on the front line. She's full on involved in the action sequences. We actually get to see her in one of Tony's Iron Man suits. How badass is that? And not only that, but she also actually gets to take out the villain in the finale. Finally, the MCU is showing just a little more girl power than it originally has, but the sad thing about this movie is that this is the final appearance of Pepper in the entire MCU, as Gwyneth Paltrow's contract expired after Iron Man 3. That sucks. Please return in Infinity War, Gwyneth Paltrow. You're awesome. The first act and first half of this movie is terrific, and also my personal favourite action sequence in this movie features in the first half when Tony's house is bombarded and obliterated into nothing. Literally, you're just biting your nails, praying that him and Pepper make it out alive. Yeah, but that's an entire action sequence. That was an action sensation. That keeps the audience on their toes. They're like, has Tony been defeated? Is all hope lost? And also the character of Maya Henderson. She's this lady who Tony spent one night with back in 1999 in a one-night stand, and it turns out she's working for the villain, as she wants revenge on Tony for just leaving her that night. And once I presumed she was going to be a villain, I was like, why, movie? Don't you dare make her a villain. Don't go Last Crusade on us. But thankfully, they don't make her a villain. In a twist that actually works, it turns out she has a soft side and isn't so bad after all. And I just breathed a tremendous sigh of relief. I was like, thank you, Shane Black. Thank you for making her a redeemable character. On the other hand, folks, calling Iron Man 3 a masterpiece would be a stretch. So this brings us to the negatives, and when the movie started out great but goes downhill. Just like The Last Jedi, you all know the twist in that movie that pissed me the fuck off. Well, Iron Man 3 also features a divisive twist that pissed me the fuck off. Now this twist, you're either going to like it or you're not. I totally guess it if you're a fan of this twist, where you know the villain, the Mandarin, after they were building him up to be this terrorist type of villain, this all-powerful villain that was literally bring Tony to his doom. What did they decide to do with him? Just make him a fucking drunk that is banging these chicks and isn't the all-powerful villain that we fought at all. I personally hated that decision. That is the stupidest fucking twist in a movie, period. Why Shane Black? You set the Mandarin up as Tony's greatest adversary, and this was the direction you chose to take with him. I couldn't believe that twist when I saw it. I was done with the movie once that twist happened. To add to our dismay, do you know who's the actual villain of this movie? Some dude named Killian. Killian isn't a good villain at all. Why have this guy as Tony's adversary when you could have just stuck with the Mandarin? And you know what the twist with the Mandarin should have been? Just still have the Mandarin be the primary antagonist. Have the Mandarin be one of Tony's older, buddies from his past, and Tony wronged him, so that we could get why he would be out to blow Tony up. But no, they ruined it, and the kid that travels with Tony on his journey in the middle act of this movie Does he serve a purpose? Not exactly. And he's the Jar Jar Binks of the MCU. He is freaking annoying. I wasn't a fan of the movie's direction in its second half 5 years ago, and I'm still not a fan of it now. So overall, guys, despite some piss poor writing decisions in its direction, Iron Man 3 is still a serviceable ending to Tony Stark's journey, and I would gladly sit through it over the train wreck that was Iron Man 2 any day. It may not scale the heights of Iron Man, but it at least it attempted to. Shane Black wasn't a bad director to save this trilogy after Iron Man 2. And between this and For the Dark World, this is totally the stronger MCU movie of 2013. I give Iron Man 3.5 stars out of 5. Good movie. Well, guys, after the Phase 2 MCU reviews, then it's Infinity War. I can't freaking wait. So, well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of Iron Man 3? And what are your thoughts on the twist? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Google Plus and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time when I review For the Dark World, as well as give you an updated DVD collection. And remember, movies are us. I didn't mention that quote in conclusion of my Avengers review, so I'm just correcting that. Bye, guys.